Hello guys, and welcome to Christchurch and part 2 of our New Zealand cruise. Make sure you stay tuned for Wellington up next, but if you're keen to adventure with us, grab yourself a cuppa and let's get into the video. We've realised once again that the best way to see a place is by foot, so we're heading out today armed with a map and exploring all the different parts of Christchurch. Obviously, our first stop of the day had to be picking up our morning coffee. So as we were wandering, we spotted a cute little cafe and went in and grabbed some takeaway coffees and then continued walking down towards the Botanic Gardens. Along our walk, we spotted a cute little tram as well as some beautiful architecture and also ran into a quaint little marketplace. Golden things. Christchurch Botanic Gardens are firstly ginormous, but also absolutely stunning. I think that they potentially might be the most aesthetic botanic gardens that I've been to. They're also completely free. We did spend quite a bit of time there, but I wouldn't have even minded spending a bit more time having a wander around and seeing all of the different sections of the garden. Gold hair. Gold rings, gold leaves, gold anything, gold. Our first official stop of the day is the Botanic Gardens, free entry and truly stunning. We've decided to make our way down to the Rose Garden, but I don't think that we would have the time to actually walk the entire Botanic Gardens because they seem huge. Feet step over splinters of the moon. While the Rose Garden was stunning, my favourite section was actually just outside the Rose Garden, where they had planted a variety of different dahlias around the perimeter of the rose section, and they were in full bloom, a variety of different colours and types, and looking truly stunning. We also saw lots of bees and butterflies that were zooming around this section as well, and it was a perfect spot for photos and selfies, of course. Upon leaving the rose section, we made our way towards the river, which wound its way through the Botanic Gardens, and there was also a beautiful bridge to cross it. And as we were approaching, we noticed a heap of geese that were making themselves home to the waterways. Dad did try to approach them, however, he wasn't using stealth mode, and they were not too happy about that. Golden things. There was also a gorgeous looking restaurant on the grounds of the garden. It wasn't open at this stage, but we were able to wander through their vegetable patch and admire the truly inspiring veggies that they had growing there. Upon exiting the gardens, we continued along the river walk and spotted some people getting a little boat ride. We were kind of interested in doing this for ourselves. However, we did find out that it was a little bit expensive and decided to continue our journey on foot instead, we decided to make our way to the earthquake memorial. We weren't exactly sure what this would be, but it ended up being this beautiful and very simple wall of the names of all the people who'd lost their lives in the 2011 earthquake. The lives of 185 people were lost during this disaster. I actually did visit Christchurch in 2012 at the beginning of the year, not that long after the earthquake had taken place, and the majority of the city was still in ruins. So to return in 2023 and just see the beauty and thriving nature of this community is just so inspiring. After wandering through the main hub, we made our way down to New Regent Street, voted Christchurch's prettiest street due to its aesthetic pastel tops of the buildings. Agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond We continued our on-foot trek of the city, making our way back down to the Riverside Market. This is a close quarters collection of a variety of different eateries of every taste. We settled initially on the beer stand, of course, which contained 24 different varieties of local craft beers, and then immediately headed to the hot dog place to get ourselves some delicious dogs. Afterwards, it was time to head back to the boat and wrap up our fun-filled day at Christchurch. The next day was our final port of call, and it was in the aptly named windy Wellington. We've now headed to the North Island, and Wellington is at its southernmost tip. It was a very rainy and dreary day today, but we decided to make the most of it. First heading to the cable car, which took us up to the top of the mountain. At the top there were a number of different options, including a restaurant, the cable car museum, which we ended up heading into and checking out, and then also the botanic gardens. And what I love particularly about this botanic gardens, not only the fact that you can take a cable car to get there, but also the fact that it starts at the top of the hill and the gardens wind their way down and back to the city. So it made for a very scenic and leisurely day as well. And the weather slowly did start to take a turn for us, so we did enjoy a lot more being out and about amongst the elements and experiencing all of the beauty of Wellington. My favourite part of these botanic gardens was the duck pond, because on its viewing platform it contained free bags of maize that you could use to feed the ducks. So naturally, being an animal lover, I definitely needed to take advantage of this, and as I started throwing it into the water, all of the ducks came swimming over ready to indulge, as did all the pigeons that were sort of hanging around as well, and we had a good time feeding those. There was also a cute little waterfall tucked in near the duck pond, which was exciting to see as well. We enjoyed roaming around the gardens, but I must say I was a little bit disappointed with the rose garden, particularly after having seen Christchurch's beautiful rose garden just the day before. Mum and Dad came to Wellington just 1 month before us, and luckily they did get to see this rose garden in full bloom, so at least someone was able to experience it at its highest point. Well, as you make your way through the botanic gardens all the way back down to the city, one of the cool features is that you pass through an old historic cemetery. An interesting feature of this cemetery is the massive highway that runs in the middle of it and the bridge that connects one side to the other. I did find out as we were walking that during the process of constructing the highway, they needed to remove close to 4,000 marked and unmarked graves, which have since been relocated. We wove our way through the city, stopping to pick up a Starbucks along the way, and headed down to Cuba Street, famous for its cafes, restaurants and shopping. Close by was Fork and Brewer, a local microbrewery that was recommended to us from the bar owner in Christchurch. So we headed there for lunch and a few local beverages. And then it was time to mosey on back to the boat and wrap up another fabulous day out and about exploring New Zealand. After some very busy port days, we are now back at sea for our 3-day long journey home, and hopefully we'll have some good weather along the way so that I can spend some more time out reading and basking in the sun. But for now, I'm just going to include some clips of the things that we get up to along the way.